Dear audience, Namaste. In today's American Conversations, we have Dr. Laba Karki to discuss with us about the most pressing issue among the immigrants in the United States, the immigration. And the immigration for the ethnic Nepalese who are here in the United States. It is not just we conversating with Dr. Karki today. It is you also have the opportunity to talk to us. We will open the line during the course of our conversation with you, and you'll be asking your questions to Dr. Karki about your immigration related questions. Dr. Karki completed his PhD in physical chemistry and went to practice patent law in the world's most reputed law firms like Hunton & Williams and Morgan Lewis. But money and luxury was not his calling, it appears. Leaving aside the luxury, Dr. Karki came to a real karma to help others. The audience, let's welcome Dr. Laba Karki in tonight's American Conversations. Karki ji, American Conversations ma hardik swagat छ यहाँलाई.
Thank you very much for having me. मलाई पनि धेरै खुसी लागेको छ.
तपाईले आफ्नो यो पेटेन्ट लमा त्यत्रो लामो प्र्याक्टिस गरेर पीएचडी नै त्यसमा गरेर हैन अध्यागमन कानुनतिर आउनु भएको छ. What inspired you to become, an immigration lawyer?
When I was in Morgan Lewis, I got opportunity to do pro bono work. Pro bono भनेको चाहिँ public service work. So I was doing immigration relief work. So I was going to the immigration courts and the state courts defending many clients that were indigent, very poor clients. So all of these clients were basically under our program called Pro Bono program. So I was the lead attorney, and so my job was to help these guys get immigration relief. So from there, I really learned a lot about immigration, especially how the South American immigration clients were coming through the border and how they were arrested, how they were being sent to the detention center and then to the Arlington Immigration Court. And from there, I was able to get them asylum or get them special immigrant juvenile. So I really felt good about it. I really felt good about helping the people. At that time, I was not helping Nepali people because my firm was not taking Nepali clients. So when I left Morgan Lewis...
Why were they not taking Nepali clients?
Because we were not getting referrals.
Oh, I see.
I was going around the shops in McLean in Virginia, and many of the Nepalese wanted attorneys that could help them. So that was one of the reasons that I wanted to help them. But at that time, we were not getting referrals because we don't have a Nepalese organization that will refer to firms. So that was a basic lack of, not having Nepalese clients at that time. But there were a lot of Spanish agencies, a lot of Spanish network that was able to refer their cases to big firms like Morgan Lewis, Skadden Arps, and Connolly and Bove, and those kind of big name firms. So we were doing this for pretty much 100% for free. And the nice thing was that it felt good about helping people, settle in the United States, get over their, problems back home in El Salvador, in Mexico, where they were being threatened for their lives. So that felt like a good way to help the immigration community. So when I became, after leaving Morgan Lewis, I opened my own firm called Law Office of Dr. Karki. So from there on...
When was that?
That was back in 2010.
I see.
And at that time, I didn't have bigger client base. I was just going around and helping people for free. Most of my clients were 100% free. But then after some time, I started to charge a little bit of money because I wanted to also, be able to survive. And now I have a fairly big client base, and the nice thing about this job is that I get to meet Nepalese from all over Nepal, from eastern Meitei to western Mahakali, and from Kathmandu as well. That there are so many people from Nepal that are here in the United States, and many of them do not know what United States is, and most of them have immigration issues. And the main thing is they want to be able to bring their parents or children. So that's the reason why I went to help the Nepalese community in the United States, and that's how I became an immigration attorney.
So how diverse is your client base in your office? Are you taking only Nepali clients or clients from anywhere in the world?
I have 70% of my clients are Nepalese and 30% are from other countries like Bangladesh, Philippines, Vietnam, and Spain. So basically my clients are referrals that I got from other...
Spain means the
Spanish-speaking countries. Not Spain, I'm sorry. Okay. It's from Mexico.
Okay.
So the 30% is like that I got referrals from other friends that I have in my community. So like Bangladeshis, Pakistanis, and Filipinos and Mexicans. But majority of the clients are Nepalese. Like I mentioned before, the Nepalese that I've come to see are from very wide-ranging backgrounds of political affiliations and economic backgrounds. So it's really a very diverse client base that I have right now.
So what are the feedbacks from the Nepalese community members that come to your service?
Most of them are very satisfied because I give them 100% of my time. I do not charge a whole lot of fees. And I also try to take my time to meet them personally. If they cannot come to my office, I go to them. Most of these Nepalese that do not have cars or cannot get onto public transportation, I myself go to the location where they are working, or I arrange a space near a library like Arlington Public Library or Manassas Public Library, and that's how I try to meet my clients to give them service. So that's how I've been able to proactively help these Nepalese clients that do not have access to be able to move around the DC area. And their feedback is they're 100% satisfied.
So you practice only immigration law with the Nepali clients, or maybe there are some other issues that they want an answer with from the lawyers like you?
Yes, a lot of times there are a lot of people who have criminal questions, family law questions, but I usually refer those to other attorneys that I have in my network. And they're also specialized in that respective field. I'm not really specialized in family law or criminal law, but I do have ways to, refer those questions to other attorneys.
How satisfied are you with, utilizing your expertise in uplifting the Nepali people who are kind of lost about how to get the status or
Right.
how to be in the status, for example, the students.
Right.
Once they complete their studies and they don't want to go back to their country and want to achieve the American dream, so the adjustment of status becomes a big issue for them.
Yeah, let me give you my example. I was a F1 student. I was a science PhD, and from there on, I went to do postdoc. So I got an H visa.
So you yourself went through those processes?
Through those processes. So let me describe to you. So basically, the first thing as a F1 is there are more opportunities if you are in the STEM field, which is science, technology, engineering, and math field, because you have 29 months of optional practical training. So I went from F1 to optional practical training at a university, and from there on, they liked me, and I did very hard work, so they sponsored me for H visa. And from H visa, I was able to sponsor green card on my own because I was under the exceptional ability scientist category. So I applied under national interest waiver. So that is one way of getting green card. The other, of course, is through sponsorship by employer, which is called EB2 or EB3. And that is another way to become US, green card holder. And then from there, you can become a US citizen. So the path for F1 is fairly okay. It's not very complicated. If you follow the path carefully, it's just a matter of time. You just have to do your work. They will sponsor you. And once you get sponsored, you can file on your own, or you can have the employer sponsor you for a green card. And from there, you can get your citizenship. So it's just a question of about 10 years from being F1 to citizenship.
Pretty long time.
It is quite long.
They say that it's easy to upload the dream, but it takes the whole life to download it.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
How does it apply with the people who come with the dream in America?
The American dream can be very tricky if you are not following the rules, especially with the legal rules here. If you get DUI or if you're arrested shoplifting, you have a record on your system. So therefore, when you apply for citizenship, they will find that you have done this and this. So you have to be able to explain that, or they will simply deny you or expel you from this country. So there are certain things that you do not want to do in this country, like get into the wrong side of the law. If you're on the good side of the law, this country is super. You have the whole country in front of you. You can work hard, you can live your dream, you can build a nice house and raise your children and send them to good school.
As you know, Nepali political situation has become a little critical for youths. And there are not only the educated youth who want to, come to the United States by being a student, but there are a number of other youths who want to bribe some, brokers and come through illegal ways.
Right.
For example, from Nepal, by crossing a lot of other countries from South America, they swim across the rivers and past the jungles and come illegally. And soon after they are inside the U.S. territory, they just raise their hands and then say that they are the asylees, and then they immediately get to the prison, and then the process for them starts in a very unexpected and new way. Have you ever had any opportunities to help those kind of asylees who came through the south side of U.S. border and then are in the
removal proceeding? I think most of my clients that came before were Spanish clients like that. They crossed the border, they swam across the Rio Grande.
Similar then.
Yeah, it's just very similar. So what happens is that they get arrested usually, and they're sent to detention centers, and from there on they're referred to a attorney or a law firm. So my understanding is that those cases, it depends on what kind of asylum that they can get, what kind of relief. Either if it's a juvenile or it's a really political asylum, then yes, you can do a defensive, or it's called defensive asylum process. So when the immigration judge is trying to remove you, you can file for I-589 and start the asylum process. But some of the clients that I met from Nepal had the same story. They had sold their property in Nepal. They had, wanted to chase the American dream. And instead of coming directly, they went through Mexico, South America. They lived there for a while, they raised some money, and then there were some coyotes that transfer them through the border, but then sometimes they get caught. And there was one opportunity that I got to meet and talk to one of the persons there, and his life story was so very, very, scary that, he was really having mental problems. He's psychologically gone. And then I have not taken his case yet, but I'm still interviewing him because right now he's working for some kind of gas station, and he's not been able to come to me, but I'm still working on his case. But the main thing, like you said, is that his psychological and his health issues are more important for him right now than his asylum issues. So that's what I'm trying to do, is maybe try to get a psychiatrist for him first, and then we can start the process. In my opinion, this is a very scary and dangerous way to come to the United States. Either you're going to get killed while you're trying to do it, or you're going to have mental problems all your life. And because you have sold all your property, for you, it's hard to go back. And then even if you are here, it's very hard to raise that kind of money again, because you're going to be working in 7-Eleven, not necessarily 7-Eleven, but something like that. And you're not going to be able to generate enough money to pay for all that loan or whatever you took to come here. So म उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ के भन्छु भने यस्तो चाहिँ नि अलिकति गाह्रो छ, त्यस कारणले गर्दाखेरि कि नेपाली जानुस् कि चाहिँ असाइलमै फाइल गरेर चाहिँ नि हेर्नुस्, अनि त्यसपछि वर्क पर्मिट आएपछि अनि अलिअलि काम गर्दै अनि पछिबाट त्यो तिर्न सक्छन्.
Let me ask you another question about those people who come under visitor visa,
right?
To meet their families, to meet their kids, and they have a 6 months or 1 year or 5 year multiple entry visa, and then they want to stay here. What is your suggestion to them as to how they could proceed ahead with their desire of living here lawfully?
Well, I think I have many clients that have asked me the same question, is that they have a B1 visa or B2 visa, either business or tourist visa, and they want to stay here continuously. But the main thing is that, it's a tourist visa, it has very limited scope of transferring to other visas. So the first thing is, within the first 2 months, you cannot do anything. But after the first 2 months, then you might want to change your visa status. You can apply for a change of status to a student visa or to a work visa. But there's always a possibility that it can get rejected. So those people that come here as a tourist visa, either they came here to file for asylum. For those cases, it's okay. You can go ahead and file for asylum. But those people who
Can a person who comes on a visit visa
file for
comes by air, file for an asylum? Can you do that?
Of course. That's how the people are filing for asylum, is that once they come here, then you don't want to go back, you can file for asylum. Asylum is as easy as anybody can file for asylum.
Oh, really?
So, yes, it's not like you have to be at a certain visa category. It's just that if you don't want to go back because of persecution and fear of persecution, yes, you're entitled to file for asylum at that point. But like I said, I think there are different ways you can get into the system here. And the first thing is changing to F1 visa. And that one I think is quite good because if you're a student, you can apply for I-120, and then once the I-120 is approved, then you can change it to student visa. And from there, you can go to H visa and then file for green card. But for others that came here and they're not sure, it's better to think about it because asylum is not always 100% sure. So it's better to go back to Nepal, think about why you want to come to the United States carefully, and then plan accordingly. Because a lot of times what I've seen in my case is that those people who file for asylum have missed their children, have missed their wives for maybe 8-9 years. So now they're crying and say, well, how can I go back to Nepal? There's a way, I've been trying to send them back to Nepal through travel document, which is called advance parole. But I can see the plight. So you don't want to have some kind of plan, situation where you're stuck. So either you file for asylum right away or you think about it and go into F1 or other visa, H1. That's basically the limitation of a tourist visa, is that it doesn't have much ability to change. But if you do change, those are the only ways you can do so.
The audience, we'd like to take a small break here. Please stay tuned. The audience, welcome back from this break. We have with us Dr. Laba Karki, attorney for immigration issues. अहिले मन्जु गेवाली हुनुहुन्छ। मन्जुजी, आज हामीसँग डाक्टर लबा कार्की हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँ अध्यागमन सम्बन्धी अमेरिकामा बसेर वकालतको काम गर्नुहुन्छ।
हजुर।
तपाईको आफ्नो अध्यागमन सम्बन्धी कुनै प्रश्नहरू छन्?
हजुर, मसँग एउटा प्रश्न छ।
हजुर, हाम्रो लबा कार्कीजीलाई सोध्नु छ है त?
धन्यवाद कृष्णज्यू, मलाई प्रश्न लबा कार्कीजीलाई प्रश्न सोध्ने मौका दिनुभएकोमा।
हस्, थ्यांक यू।
म मन्जु गेवाली, मेरो घर नेपाल सानसेन पाल्पा, हाल म अमेरिका भर्जिनिया मनासस पार्कमा बस्छु।
हजुर।
मेरो प्रश्न छ डाक्टर कार्कीज्यूलाई।
हजुर।
डिभी पढेर अमेरिका आएको व्यक्तिले पछि आफ्नो छोराछोरी श्रीमतीलाई ल्याउन पाउँछ कि पाउँदैन? यदि पाउँछ भने उसले चाहिँ ग्रीन कार्ड र सिटिजनशिप फाइल गर्नको लागि के गर्नुपर्छ होला? मेरो प्रश्न।
मेरो धेरै क्लाइन्टहरू चाहिँ त्यही उसमा चाहिँ भ्रममा परिरहेको छन्। उनीहरूले चाहिँ नि ग्रीन कार्ड लटरी, डिभी लटरी भर्दाखेरि सिङ्गल भनेर भरेका छन् धेरैले। र यहाँ आएपछि उनीहरू चाहिँ नि आफ्नो श्रीमती अथवा छोराछोरीलाई कसरी लिएर आउने भन्ने क्वेसनमा मैले चाहिँ के गर्ने गरेको छ भने उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ यहाँबाट चाहिँ नि USCISलाई चाहिँ नि I-130 चाहिँ फाइल गराउने गरेको छु, रेकमेन्ड गरेको छु। र त्यो प्रोसेसमा चाहिँ नि भएपछि चाहिँ नि उनीहरू चाहिँ यहाँ चाहिँ नि फ्यामिली स्पोन्सरसिप हो, त्यसबाट चाहिँ नि उनीहरू चाहिँ 1 वर्ष 1.5 वर्षमा चाहिँ नि उनीहरूले चाहिँ नेपालमा चाहिँ नि त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ नि उनीहरूको श्रीमती अथवा छोराछोरी झिकाउने प्रबन्ध मिल्दछ। तर उनीहरू चाहिँ यहाँ आइसकेपछि चाहिँ नि अब त्यो डिभी लटरी परिसकेको व्यक्तिहरूको चाहिँ नि सिटिजनशिप फाइल गर्दा चाहिँ अलिकति प्रब्लम निस्किने सम्भावना छ। किनभने त्यो सिटिजनशिप फाइल गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि सबै चिज हेर्छ, त्यहाँ झुटो कुरो बोलेको छ कि छैन सबै चिज रेकर्ड भइरहेको हुन्छ। र धेरै जस्तो मेरो क्लाइन्टहरूको चाहिँ प्रब्लम के भएको छ भने सिटिजनशिपमा चाहिँ डिनाइ भएको छ। किन डिनाइ भएको भनेदेखि हजुर नेपालमा चाहिँ नि उनीहरूले चाहिँ म सिङ्गल भनेर बिहा गरेको छैन भनेर भनेको हुन्छन्, तर यहाँ आएपछि नि बिहा गरेको देखाएको हुन्छ। त्यसकारणले गर्दा सिटिजनशिपको चाहिँ नि अफिसरले चाहिँ सोध्छ किन चाहिँ नि नेपालमा यसो चाहिँ तपाईँले चाहिँ यसो भन्नुभयो भन्दाखेरि उनीहरूको एन्सर चाहिँ त्यही हो, मैले यो गरेको मेरो चाहिँ नि त्यो बेला फाइल गर्दाखेरि मैले हेस्टमा गरेको हुनाले र अथवा चाहिँ नि त्यो एजेन्सीहरूले मलाई चाहिँ सिङ्गल फाइल गर भनेको हुनाले चाहिँ नि उनीहरूले सिङ्गल फाइल गरेको हुन्छन्। तर यहाँ चाहिँ सिटिजनशिपमा त्यो क्वेसनलाई चाहिँ नि उनीहरूले धेरै नराम्रोसँग हेर्छन् र धेरै जस्तो केसमा चाहिँ डिनाइ पनि गर्छन्। र त्यो चाहिँ नि अपिल चाहिँ गर्न मिल्छ, तर अपिल गर्दाखेरि अलि लामो बाटो प्रोसेस हो त्यो।
अपिल गर्न मिल्छ तर अलि टाइम लाग्छ।
हजुर,
मिल्न चाहिँ सिटिजनशिप पछि चाहिँ लिन मिल्छ।
यदि चाहिँ नि अलिकति अटर्नीले चाहिँ नि राम्रै कागजपत्र बनाएर त्यो एफिडेभिट बनाएर र एभिडेन्स चाहिँ नि सबै तयार पारेर चाहिँ नि गर्न सक्यो भनेदेखि अपिल गर्दा अथवा त्यही इन्टरभ्यूमै चाहिँ नि वकिल राखेर गर्न सक्यो भने त्यो चाहिँ नि सफल हुने सम्भावना धेरै छ। तर आफैले मात्रै गर्यो भने चाहिँ त्यसमा असफल हुने सम्भावना धेरै छ।
त्यो चाहिँ नि त्यसरी आफूले यदि केही गरिकन डिभी भर्दाखेरि आफ्नो फ्यामिली पुरै छ भने ढाँटेर चाहिँ म सिङ्गल मात्रै भनेर अनि पछि राख्दाखेरि मात्र फेरि त्यहाँ डेट अफ बर्थहरू त्यहाँ म्यारिज सर्टिफिकेटहरूको डेटहरू तिनीहरू मिल्दैन नि त्यो कारणले गर्दा चाहिँ डिनाइड हुने सम्भावना हुने रहेछ किनभने त्यतिखेरै पहिल्यै चाहिँ उसको राखेको भए सजिलो हुने रहेछ हैन र सर
हजुर त्यो कुरा ठिकै हो किनभने त्यो इमिग्रेसन चाहिँ नि पहिला चाहिँ नि युएस एम्बेसीमै उनीहरूले 2-3 ताली सोधिसकेको हुन्छ तपाईँ बिहा गरेको छ कि छैन भनेर 2-3 ताली सोधेको हुन्छ तर उनीहरूले चाहिँ के भनेको हुन्छ मैले बिहा गरेको छैन किनभने त्यो फर्म भर्दाखेरि म सिंगल छु भनेर भनेको हुन्छ यदि त्यहाँ नै उनीहरूले चाहिँ बिहा गरेको छ भने उनीहरूलाई तिनै डिनाइ हुने भएको हुनाले उनीहरूले त्यो चाहिँ नि जुन चाहिँ पहिला भरेको फर्म अनुसार त्यही अनुसार चाहिँ उनीहरूले एन्सर दिँदै आउँछन् र यहाँ आइसकेपछि अनि त्यसपछि प्रब्लम निस्किन्छ किनभने छोराछोरी उहाँ हुन्छ श्रीमती उहाँ हुन्छ तर यहाँको युएससिआइएसले चाहिँ नि त्यो हिसाब किताब हेर्दैन कि उनीहरूले चाहिँ पर्मनेन्ट रेजिडेन्ट भइसकेपछि कसरी चाहिँ नि यहाँबाट चाहिँ नि आफ्नो श्रीमती अथवा छोराछोरी ल्याउने प्रबन्ध छ उनीहरूको त्यो चाहिँ I-130 हो त्यो फाइल गरेर चाहिँ नि नेसनल भिजा सेन्टरले उसमा पठाउँछ
ल हस् त धन्यवाद सरलाई यहाँलाई मेरो जिज्ञासालाई चाहिँ क्लियर गरिदिनु भएकोमा
थ्याङ्क यू
मन्जुजी हजुरको प्रश्नको लागि धन्यवाद हामीसँग अर्को एकजना श्रोता हुनुहुन्छ उहाँ अतुल्य पाण्डे हो उहाँको नाम र उहाँ न्युयोर्कमा हुनुहुन्छ र अतुल्यजी युनिभर्सिटी अफ पेन्सिल्भेनियाबाट ग्रेजुएट गरेर अहिले न्युयोर्कमा आफ्नो आफ्नै एउटा टेक फर्म खोलेर बस्नु भएको छ आफ्नो साथीहरूसँग मिलेर र उहाँ चाहिँ नि अध्यागमन कानुन सम्बन्धी अमेरिकी अध्यागमन कानुनमा उहाँले चाहिँ नि एउटा एक्टिभिस्ट अथवा सरकारलाई एउटा सल्लाह दिने हैसियतको रूपमा एक्टिभिस्टको रूपमा काम गर्नुहुन्छ त अतुल्यजी हामीसँग आज डाक्टर लबा कार्की हुनुहुन्छ तपाईँसँग भएको जिज्ञासा उहाँलाई एकचोटि बताइदिनुहोस् न सोध्नुहोस् न है
नमस्कार पाण्डेजी
सबैको यो प्रश्न छ जुन ओबामाको थ्याङ्क्सगिभिङ गिभिङ अगाडिको जुन त्यो एक्जिक्युटिभ एक्सन छ हैन
हजुर
त्यसको इम्प्याक्ट चाहिँ इमिग्रेन्ट एज अ होल अब अनडकुमेन्टेड हुन्छ कि अनटरप्रेनर हुन्छ कि त्यसलाई कसरी एफेक्ट गर्छ यो जुन एक्जिक्युटिभ एक्सन डिटेल्स राम्रोसँग आएको छैन सो अनि इन्क्लुडिङ अब हामी जस्तो अब नेपाली विद्यार्थीहरू अहिले र भविष्यको विद्यार्थीहरू कसरी यो एक्जिक्युटिभ एक्सन एज अ होल
Basically, a lot of my clients have asked me the same question, and the answer is that the executive order does not provide amnesty to all the immigrants that are here that are illegally or undocumented immigrants. Basically, it only affects two types of immigrants. The first is that it prevents deportation of parents that have U.S. children and U.S. permanent residents, and those that came here before 2010. And the second is that it prevents deportation of immigrants that came here when they were under the age of 16, and they've been here continuously since 2010. So basically it broadens those type of people that can get asylum or can get relief from deportation. It's really not asylum, it's deportation relief. And they can also get work permit, and they can also get a renewable 3-year term of work permit, which allows them to stay with their family. So basically the Obama administration has allowed the family reunion provision so that they are not deported automatically because they are illegal status. So that's basically how I think it's going to help. र नेपालीहरुको पनि अब कुनै चाहिँ नि छोराछोरीहरु यही जन्मेको छन् भनेदेखि उनीहरुले चाहिँ नि त्यो ओबामाको एक्जिक्युटिभ अर्डरबाट यहाँ बस्ने चाहिँ स्वीकृति पाउँछन् र उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ यदि रिमुभल प्रोसिडिङमा छन् भने उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ त्यो रद्द गर्न मिल्दछ। त्यसको लागि चाहिँ अब अटर्नीको एउटा चाहिँ नि एउटा अटर्नी अथवा कुनै you have to consult an attorney to get this removal deportation cancelled if you are in removal deportation proceeding.
Thank you अतुल्यजी तपाईको प्रश्नको लागि हामी हार्दिक धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौं। How do you read the Nepali audience or Nepali clients, I would say, who visit you? How much educated are they in terms of the legal aspects of things in the United States?
Most of my clients have just come from Nepal, and they have no idea about the legality of the United States. They are very scared. Most of them are very scared because they don't know the law, and they think that they're going to get arrested for doing certain things. So they need some education in terms of how this country functions. And this is not a police state. A lot of my clients think that this is a police state. If you do this, you get arrested. It's not true. So for that reason, I think most of my clients, like I said, are under DV lottery, or they came here through some H visa or through border crossing. And so they are not educated about the law, and most of them do not have very high education in Nepal. So for that reason, for them, first of all, English is a big challenge. And secondly, the society here is very difficult for them to adjust to. And third thing, of course, they have no idea what the law is. So for that reason, I think they are not well versed and they need some help. And that's one of my goals, is to try to help them.
Those who came through DV lottery, and those Bhutanese who came as asylee in a big number, they have no knowledge about the legal aspects of living in a country which is ruled by law. So are there any plans that you want to do some kind of community work, community service, by opening up with like-minded legal friend of yours a kind of a law clinic? Like one of my friends whom I interviewed for American Conversations, his name is Matt Henley, and he had done a pro bono service for 12 Nepalese who were beheaded in Iraq. And he is now with Kathmandu University in Dhulukel, has started a human rights law clinic in Kathmandu. So are there chances or possibilities that you can open up a small law clinic where people with various questions could come and you can answer?
Yes, Mr. Sharma, I was going to answer that question in the way that my community from Burlington School, SEBS, we tried that program where we try to take questions from immigrants that had similar issues or questions about how to bring people. So we had tried that program and it was working, but I haven't done for the whole Nepalese community, but it was only for my school, which was the student of ex-Burlington students. And
so they're already educated.
Yeah, but our goal was to go like the same way that you have mentioned, is to go broader and be able to take on more cases. And right now we have not been able to do that, and we are very much interested in collaborating with other agencies and maybe your agencies that involved with this kind of legal clinic would be something that would be in my next phase of my career.
I think that becomes a great help for the community. Which faces all different sort of problems, because as the population grows, the problems come up.
No, I agree. I think there is a great need for well-educated and well-experienced attorneys that can help with not only immigration, family law, criminal law, and other legal aspects that people have in this country. And for that reason, I think an immigration clinic or just a legal clinic would be a very well way to help the Nepalese and reach out to a broader type of Nepalese that are here now. We have a diverse Nepalese community here that are not only educated but not very well educated. So there is a different socioeconomic divisions, different types of geographic divisions, and different political affiliations. So we have a very big Nepalese community here in DC area, and they need a way to help them solve their needs. And many of them have no idea about how to bring their brother or sister. They don't know how to adjust status here. And for that reason, I think, like you mentioned, having a legal clinic that not only does immigration, but also family law and other criminal laws would help and achieve our goals and become and strengthen our community.
Great. Dr. Karki, thank you so much for joining us at the American Conversations tonight.
Oh, it was a pleasure to meet you, and I really look forward to meeting you again.
Thank you. And as we said, dear audience, Dr. Karki will be joining us every other week, answering your questions about immigration issues that may have haunted you for many days or weeks, if not months or years. So with this, I would like to wrap up tonight's American Conversations. Good night and namaste.
Namaste.